Shalom, and I would like to start off by giving all praises to Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai. Also, double honors to the elder apostles, the GMS, who rule well, and also honor and salutations to those of you who are of the elect. All right, so today's topic is going to be a continuation on a series I was doing, talking about the people that dwell in our land. And there are certain nuances that are put in the scriptures. I say nuances. That may not be the right word to use, because it isn't subtle. There are blatant things that are said about what would happen once Israel returns to their land, and the people that are in that land don't fit any of those things. Right, so I say nuance, but it isn't a nuance. It's blatant. It's obvious that they don't fit what the prophecies say they would do. Right, and also not only do they not fit the prophecies as a nation, but the things that the world itself is going through is also indicative of the people that are in the land not being the children of Israel. Because the scriptures talk about harmony once the kingdom of heaven is established, equity, fairness. As a matter of fact, I want to start with this because this is the scripture I had in my mind. This is, I think it's Proverbs 29. Yes. This is Proverbs 29:2. It says, "When the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice. But when the wicked beareth rule, the people mourn." Right? Now, if you look around the world today, and not just here in America, right, but by the hands of the so-called white man, the Edomites that are ruling the world, right, the whole earth is in chaos, in some way, shape, or form. There's some kind of chaos going on in the world, right? You got look at, for instance, right, America is supposed to be one of the richest countries in the world, right? But poverty, and I mean not just poverty like poor people living in the projects. I'm talking about there are people that live on the side of the street, right? But this is the richest country in the world, right? Then you got, not only that, you got the food at a poor level, so people are getting sick, right? Americans, I read an article, and I think I'm gonna pull it up. I didn't open it. I gotta open it. I got it here on my phone. But it says the article is called. Let me go to the top. America is the sickest country on the planet because of greed and stupidity. Right. So things like that can only be said if there's mourning. If they're in mourning, right? That doesn't make somebody happy. being the sickest country on earth doesn't make people happy, right? People got cancer. I lost an uncle to colon cancer only in his early 50s. I got my mother had the breast cancer. My son, who when he was 4 years old, had liver cancer. So people are in mourning, man. People are in mourning, and it's due to the wicked being in authority. Just look around. It's the world will tell you, exactly what you need to know about who's in power. Because if you're a righteous nation or a righteous man in power, you're gonna do right by the people that are under your authority. That's just common knowledge. Because without the people, there is no one to be in authority over without the people, right? So it would behoove someone in rulership to be good to the people that are under their authority. It would behoove them. It would make sense, because it's almost like when you run a business, right? You run a business and you don't pay your employees, you can't expect to get the best performance out of them, right? So someone in rulership it would behoove them to do right by the people that are under his authority. But the so-called white man don't give a shit. The Edomites that rule this world don't care. Like that article, like the title of that article said, they're greedy, right? And they're stupid, you know. So I want to get into a couple of things. This shouldn't take me that long, and I'll move on. All right, so I want to go to, what do I want to go to first? Let's go here first. All right. So this is from a website called indieweek.com, and I heard about this story from watching the film or the documentary What the Health, but I thought of it. I said, you know what, that's a sign or a form of mourning, you know, that people are going through this. So I pulled up this article and I wanted to read it, right? So it says, study shows North Carolina hog farms spray hog poop on neighbors' homes. Cooper vetoes HB 467, right? So it says here, it says, during the debate last month over House Bill 467, a failed proposal to shield hog farms owned by a subsidiary of Smithfield Foods from 26 federal nuisance lawsuits brought by their neighbors, state representatives and bill sponsor Jimmy Dixon, R. Duplin, and Wayne, called claims that hog waste was ending up on people's homes preposterous. What's more, he continued, the people making those claims were lying, right? So here it is, right? You got this guy saying that people, they can't, they're lying about essentially shit being sprayed on their homes and on their cars and on their in the air where they have to breathe, you know. And if you watch that movie, I couldn't find the clip, but if you watch that flick, What the Health, if you watch that, there was a scene in there where he went down, the movie maker, he went down, or the guy who's narrating the film, I don't know what you want to call him, but he went down to North Carolina, and he talked to some of the people that lived in that area, and there was an old man there, and he said it was one Sunday he got up to go to church, and he had his suit on, right? He was getting ready to go to church, and he went outside, and he got sprayed so bad that he couldn't wear it. That was his only suit. He couldn't wear his suit because the suit got sprayed with shit. You see? But the point I wanted to make about that was the look on his face. He looked like he had no hope, man. He looked like there was nothing he could do, and he just had to sit there and take it, man. But again, that mourning is due to the wicked people being in power, man. That's all they've ever done is destroy things. Matter of fact, let me go here. What's that? John 10:10, I think. Yeah. John 10:10. The thief cometh not, but for to steal, and to kill, and to destroy. I am come that they may have life, and that they might have it more abundantly. You see? So the thief, that's all he came to do was ruin things, destroy things. That's the only reason why he's here, right? So this is a part of the people mourning, right? So let's go back to this article and read a little bit more of it. It says, these allegations are at best exaggerations and at worst outright lies, said Dixon, a retired farmer who has received more than $115,000 in campaign contributions from Big Pork. When you talk about spraying fluid on people's houses and people's cars, that does not exist. It says new evidence filed in federal court today, however, suggests that's exactly what happens. Right? It says to get rid of the waste of the thousands of pigs that are on site, hog farms liquefy their urine and feces and spray the waste into large fields via an irrigation system that runs from cesspools to massive sprinkler-like constructs that release mist, right? It says those who reside near the fields have long complained that the excrement rides the wind and ends up on their houses, leaving its mark on homes, mailboxes, and street signs. These claims are central to the lawsuits filed against Murphy Brown, the Smithfield subsidiary. The documents filed in court this morning support these claims, showing the presence of pig tube back, an established DNA marker for identifying the presence of pig feces. You see this? Now, instead of doing right by the people, what do? They keep spraying. Now, I want to read this other article too. Let me pull it up. Let me see what it's called again. Because they said something in this article. America is the sickest country on the planet. I want to read this, and I want to make a point. Because people always talking about Esau's motivation of being money. The white, all they care about is money, which is true, right? But I want to make this point, right? What does it say? America. Why is America the sickest country on earth? I want to show you. I want to read this. What's the site here? World of Wasabi. Let's look at like I said right here. Bear with me for a second here. I want to read this. I was reading this, and they always talk about money and all this. I want to read this. It says, America is the sickest country on the planet because of greed and stupidity, right? It says, isn't it strange that Americans spend more money on healthcare than the average person in any other country in the world? Yet, people in Norway, Switzerland, Canada, UK, France, and other developed nations, and some not so developed countries, all outlive Americans. Why are the Americans not living longer, despite all the money they spend on doctors, hospitals, and drugs? It now looks as though the food they are eating could be poisoning them. This is even though they have the FDA supposedly making sure that the American food supply is safe. The problem is that the FDA is not actually protecting the American public, but is protecting the profits of American big business, right? Now hear that out, right? That they're protecting the profits of American big business, and maybe they are, right? Maybe the FDA is in place to protect the investment of these big businesses, right? But I pose this question, right? If they own the businesses, whatever the business produces, they're going to get the money from, right? So why not make things that can help them be healthy, right? You don't just because you own a business, just because they own the business, don't mean they got to give poison, right? So there's a deeper thing going on. Because if you own a farm, right, and you produce either, whether you produce animals at a high rate or vegetation at a high rate, the income is still yours, right? So why give them poison? Why give them things that are going to poison them? Why give them things that are going to harm them? Because they're trying to kill people, and that's what the agenda is. The FDA is there, yes, maybe to protect the investment, but they are there to make people comfortable with the consumption of these poisons. The FDA, because you hear that all the time. The FDA said, or the World Health Organization said, and that's why they continue to consume these sickening products. The McDonald's and Burger King and all the pharmaceuticals that people take because of the sicknesses that they have. All of these things are done because they trust in this. Matter of fact, damn, it's a good scripture. What's that? I think it's Isaiah 30. Isaiah 30:1, it says, "Woe to the rebellious children, saith the Lord, that take counsel, but not of me, and that cover with a covering, but not of my spirit, that they may add sin to sin, that walk to go down into Egypt, and have not asked at my mouth, to strengthen themselves in the strength of Pharaoh, and to trust in the shadow of Egypt." You see? So that's where they're putting their trust. In the FDA, the WHO, and all of these different food and health regulation entities, right? They put their trust in them, and these people don't have your best interest at heart. They are trying to kill you, right? So that's a part of mourning. So if the people that were in rule were righteous, like the scriptures say, then you wouldn't have this. And matter of fact, case in point, right? When let's even go back to the Greeks. They as Greeks, they didn't destroy the air and the water and the food. They might have been hard on the people and made them do things that were unethical, but they had enough sense that the water is life sustaining, the food is life sustaining, the air is life sustaining. So let's not destroy it, right? But now in this time, as American Edomites and as British Edomites, they go around destroying the whole world, man. And the people are in mourning because of it. Cancer is at an all-time high. Heart disease, hypertension, all of these different diseases that plague the body are at an all-time high because the wicked beareth rule, right? And when the righteous beareth rule, there's going to be harmony on the earth, man. So let's go back to, I want to go back to this one. I think I read all I wanted to read there. Let's see what we got going on here. It says, it's a conspiracy that runs right from a few massive food-producing companies all the way up to the highest of ranks, the government of the United States of America. And it goes even higher than that. The government of the United States of America is a figurehead for the people that really rule this world. Okay? It's a tangled web of corruption that keeps politicians in power and safeguards the profits of certain corporations. Right? It is reasonable to assume that more than 99% of Americans are putting themselves at risk simply because they don't know the truth about their food supply. They don't know they are eating foods that aren't what nature made. They don't know these modified foods could be causing cancerous tumors that silently grow within them. Now, if righteous people were in rule, you wouldn't even be able to write an article like this. It would behoove a person in rulership to take care of the people, man. All right? So I just want to play this one more clip, and then I'll be out of here. I think this is the one right here. No. This is the one I wanted. So this is another. This is kind of goes along with that first article. This one here. It expounds on this statement here. So let me go back so you can hear it out.
Residents living in the area of the spray complain of odors so bad it limits their ability to be outdoors and adverse health effects. House Bill 467, or the Agriculture and Forestry Nuisance Remedies Bill, was introduced by Republican State Representative Jimmy Dixon, a longtime farmer who's received campaign contributions from the hog industry. Speaking at a hearing about the legislation, Dixon said, quote, "These claims are at best enormous exaggerations and at worst outright lies. Is there some odor? Yes. But I would like you to close your eyes and imagine how ham and sausage and eggs and fried chicken smell," he said.
Now that's a damn devil, man. That's a damn devil. It will say some shit like that. These people are complaining about odor in their neighborhoods, and he said, "Close your eyes and imagine chicken and chicken and sausages." Oh, Esau, you gonna die, man. The Lord is gonna kill the Edomites, man. There's no place for them on earth, man. There's no place for them to dwell on earth, because when they're on earth, they fuck it up. They know no other way, right? They know no other way. They're taking the stance of, if I can't have the blessing, if I can't have the earth, then I'm taking everybody with me, and that's how they're gonna continue to live, man. That's how they're gonna continue to live. So now you can look up all these articles and read the rest of them and watch the rest of this clip here. It's a 16-minute clip, 17-minute clip. And get some more information out of it. But that's all I wanted to talk about, man. If the people in our land were righteous, right, then there wouldn't be these painstaking events happening on the earth, man. War wouldn't exist. Chronic disease wouldn't exist. Unfair treatment wouldn't exist, right? So all in all, the people that are in that land, the people that are in our land of Israel calling themselves Jewish, they are not the people of the Heavenly Father. They do not fulfill prophecy. The Negroes, West Indians, Haitians, Puerto Ricans, Guatemalans, Panamanians, Chileans, Brazilians, so forth and so on, are those excuse me, are those who make up the nation of Israel, and are the descendants of those that walked across the Red Sea. All right, so with that, I want to give all praises to Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai, double honors to the elder apostles of GMS, and honor and salutation to those of you who are of the elect. And with that, I say shalom.